What does it mean to be seen? That's a tough question. And me answering that for you right now is giving me a lump in my throat right here. Because I can tell you that going through this journey and evolution of my business and working with a plethora of people who find it so hard to be seen is one of the hardest things, one of the hardest percentages of the pie that we're going to have to work through. Being seen means that all of this stuff that we get to hold inside ourselves in terms of how we portray ourselves right now, how we talk to other people, how we perceive life. Being seen means we start to need to think about this in a different way. It means that we start to look inside ourselves. And when we have conversations that don't feel so aligned and so akin anymore, where we used to stand in rooms with family, friends, business people, and we would take the stuff in, where we would take more than we should, and we'd swallow things. As we were swallowing those things, we'd swallow them deeper and further down into ourselves, and we would start to lean in and we'd start to cover more about ourselves, not even realizing it, because as life moves at the pace it's moving and everything that's going on in the world today, it's really scary. And we are told to show up in a certain way. We are told to be a certain way. We're told that, we need to love our mothers and we need to love our brothers and our sisters and our friends. And, we should cop and we should swallow a lot of stuff that people say to us, and we should. And the more of these shoulds that we take in and take down, the harder it gets to find ourselves within all of these shoulds. And the more we bury the shoulds, it's harder to bring ourselves back out of that. And this is why it's so much so about working these muscles day in, day out, and surrounding ourselves with people who are like-minded, who are on these paths of change and are on these paths of wanting more for themselves. Because the more you surround yourself with people that are not so much about the shoulds anymore, and I'm not saying that we can obliterate the shoulds overnight, it takes time. And the more that I've been able to get rid of the things in my life that no longer felt aligned, whether that be marriages, friendships, relationships, ships, all the ships that are actually supposed to pass within the night sometimes, and ships that we're not always supposed to hold within our heart. So it's about the more that we can remove those layers from within ourselves, and this is why my vehicle is style. That's why my creative is the style, is because I get to come at it in a way where if I can change little bits and pieces of this all the time, and if I can get you to see the woman now standing in front of you and you not judge me for the red stockings, the red shoes, the outfit, and go, wow, this woman can really stand in her own light and feel very strong and aligned to who she is. This is what being seen is really about. And it doesn't need to be the red stockings, the red shoes, right? It could just mean getting out of the workout gear each day. It could just mean not covering yourself up in spaces in the corporate role anymore that doesn't feel aligned. It can mean that every time that you look at your grid, you can say to yourself, hey, I'm there, but I'm not 100% there right now. These are the things that are about being seen, and using your voice and coming within yourself and showing the world who you are is not about a worldwide stage. It doesn't need to be this big. It could just be that you get up out of bed every morning, you get to open that wardrobe and you get to say, this is who I am going to be today. That's what being seen is. It doesn't need to be on the largest scale. It doesn't need to be me. It doesn't need to be the person on Instagram that's got 1 million followers. It doesn't need to be that. It just needs to be what is comfortable for you. And I can tell yourself, when you surround yourself with people who even want to have these conversations, people who even want to start bringing this dialogue to life for themselves, it changes. And it's just the small incremental changes that finally add up into something quite big, where you get to stand here like I do today and freely talk and freely say what is actually in your heart space. No longer standing here and going, I can't say that because that might offend somebody. I can't feel that because that won't be attuned. I can't wear this outfit because somebody's going to judge me. Because eventually, as you make those incremental changes, being seen is no longer even what that is anymore. This form is what I call self-love. This form of being able to just get up every day, feel happy, joyous. There's always going to be weight. There's weight, whichever way you look at it, right? It's depending on how you balance the weights. But just to get up every single day and feel like you can open that wardrobe and go, today's sunny. I'm going to wear something yellow because this is what this day calls for. Or I'm going to get up today and I'm going to call that person who I know is going to get me to the next part of my life, the next part of my life. And this is what I understand about being in business for myself, is that I took those chances on those people that stared down the camera like I am today, and I resonated with something in them, and I said, they're going to get me to the next bit. So trust in yourself. If it's not me, trust in somebody else, and just make that small incremental change to allowing yourself to be seen.